Hey everybody, Derek here again. I'm here to bring you another video for the Walking Dead countdown to the Season 5 premiere. We are exactly 64 days away from October 12th. We're getting closer every day to get into the Season 5 premiere. And today what I want to do is I want to do a video on 5 things that the Walking Dead Season 5 can do in order to be a better season, better than certain parts of Season 4. Now, when I say this, I am not saying that Season 4 in any way was a bad season, okay? Lots of television series have their ups and downs, okay? Various different things. Every season of a show is going to have elements that they did better with in certain seasons than with others. And I feel like The Walking Dead Season 4 did a lot of great things. It had great storylines for various characters. It had great episodes. It had great suspense, great walker action, and I really like it. You know, I watched it back to back a couple months ago, and it was a very good, consistent season. But as with any show, there are certain things that it did great with, and there are certain things that it could have improved on. And I think that Season 5, I have a couple of things that I feel that Season 5 can do that are better than elements in Season 4. So that's what I'm going to be discussing. Not that the season was bad, just things that could be done better with for us as audience members and potentially for storylines for Season 5. If you've not finished with Season 4, please be aware that there may be spoilers contained in this discussion video. So please turn off the video if you have not caught up yet. Okay. So again, I'm going to go down my list of various things that they can do better in Season 5 than they did in Season 4. Again, Season 4 is not a bad season. It's just that there are certain things about it that was lacking, I felt. And every season has had this, no matter what. There are certain things I like about in Season 2 that are better than Season 3, and in Season 1 versus Season 2, and vice versa. Everything. I could literally make 4 videos about things that they did better in each season. Believe me, I could. But since we're looking forward to Season 5, that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Number 5 on this list is going to be less standalone episodes. And what I mean by a standalone episode is an episode that focused on either one group of individuals or very, very few characters. Kind of like Still and those 2 episodes with the governor. I kind of felt like they didn't go about reintroducing the governor the right way. Now, when I watch these episodes, I feel like overall they are good episodes that contributed to the storyline. However, when you have to wait a week for an episode of Walking Dead and you get Dead Weight and Live Bait as the episodes, you're kind of a little disappointed. Same thing with like episodes in Season 2, like, you know, you had Secrets, Cherokee Rose, Bloodletting. They're not bad episodes, but when you realize that you had to wait a week and this is what you got, you're a little disappointed by that. And there are some days I kind of think that maybe The Walking Dead would have had a better, it would have went okay and it would have went a little bit better if they would have aired those 2 governor episodes back to back, like done a 2-hour episode. And I think it would have maybe been a lot easier waiting for Too Far Gone. But I was just very disappointed in the way that they did that. And I kind of felt like it would have been a lot better this season if they just would have introduced the governor earlier and we would have went back and forth, kind of like how we did with Woodbury and the prison in several of those episodes. I think it was better to see both sides. And even though it's 2 different timelines, you know, the governor meeting up with the Shambler family happened earlier than what was going on at the prison, I still think that it would have been a lot better of a format than them doing the 2 standalone episodes, because there really wasn't a lot of action in them. There wasn't a lot of things that kept them interesting. You know, there was just basically how the governor got his, you know, leadership back and how he got to where he got to, you know, to be able to attack the prison. So I was a little disappointed with that, and I think that next season they're going to have to do a standalone episode on Beth, where Beth is at with her captors, and I think that's fine. I'm really looking forward to seeing who these people are that took Beth. And I want to know, and I think it's very important that we do know as viewers. But I think there should only be one episode of a standalone with Beth. After that, I feel like we need to do Terminus, Beth, all going on in the same episodes. You're going back and forth from each group. That's just going to be a lot better off for the characters, and I really think that if they did it that way, I really feel like it would be a better season. Number 4 is going to be more unique walker kills. Season 4 did have several of them, and I do credit them for a lot of very good kills. I mean, when the governor takes that bone and snaps that walker's head off, that was an insane kill. I would rank that one of my top 10. I thought that was an amazing kill. And they definitely kept getting interesting action sequences of zombie kills. And I think that's part of the reason why you watch. We're interested to see how many different ways is there to kill a zombie. And there's a lot. And I like that scene when Daryl was killing a bunch of them with that syringe. I thought that was very interesting. And I really felt like they did do a good job overall. But I kind of felt that it was interspersed with too much action. There was also too many scenes where a lot of walkers were killed, but it wasn't really interesting. It was more like, oh, okay, here we go. They're killing walkers, and it's suspense. You know, like, kind of like whenever Rick and Carl just shot all those walkers as they were coming in through the prison fences. When they were stabbing them through the prison fences, I kind of felt that got a little old. You know, whenever they were out on the run, you know, they were just killing walkers in ways that we've seen time and time and time and time again. And I just think that bringing back that unique type of kill, kind of like when Glenn killed that walker by stabbing it through the face with the chair leg, the one when Merle released into the room whenever he was beating up Glenn, and then that one when Daryl slams the trunk down on that one walker. I mean, that is definitely one of the best kills, one of the most unique things. And I think that Walking Dead needs to look back and go forward a little bit like that. And I think that they do have some very interesting kills next season. Michonne's double sword is definitely looking great. I'm really looking forward to seeing that in action, as well as that fire hose. You know, when they were shooting walkers with blasts of water from that fire hose, tearing shards of, you know, the skull and the flesh away, I thought that was really great too. You know, I think that they do have some good ideas, and I am looking forward to seeing that for sure, definitely. Number 3 is going to be more comic book storylines. Now, this one I have to give credit to Scott Gimple and the other creators and writers of the show. There is not a lot of comic book material to go with for the 4th season, just based on the way that season 3 ended. Because A, you no longer have Woodbury, so you can't do any other volume with the governor being at Woodbury, because that's gone. You can't really do the group getting prepared for the war, because they didn't think that the war was going to happen with the governor. After the people at Woodbury, you know, they brought them back, and after the governor slaughtered them, so you can't work towards that. And you can't really just focus on the group farming and playing basketball and just, you know, having relaxing moments, because, you know, that's just boring for TV. It's nice to have a couple of those things, and it's good for the comics. You know, it's a good thing to read. But I don't turn The Walking Dead on just to see them playing a basketball game. Plus, Lori was already dead at this time, so you can't really focus on the baby coming. And I think they did a great job of writing storylines. You know, they really did a good job of writing the flu virus. I thought that was very interesting. It was something that really kept the group going and really gave them a challenge. And I like how they wrote all that in there. And especially even afterwards. I mean, there are a lot of good plot lines in the latter half of the 4th season. And I just think that they did a decent job. And I'm not going to fault them for that. What I'm saying is that next season they have more storylines from the comics that they can use. And I better see them use them, because I think that it would ultimately make a better storyline. And I've already made a video about the top 5 comic book elements that they need to use for the 5th season, and I'm not going to repeat them for this video. If you want, you can go back and watch that, and that gives you a little more idea of what I think they need to use from the comics. But I really think that since they have more material, They need to use that to their advantage this season. Number 2 is going to be less new characters being introduced. Now, I like it when they introduce new characters, and it's always nice to see a new perspective in the Walking Dead world. Because the simple fact of the matter is that there are lots of different other groups of survivors living out there. And you want to know how they lived. I mean, Bob was just wandering around that whole time. After losing 2 groups, he could have very easily been eaten. And it's nice to see how are these people surviving. You'd really like to know. And I like that about the show. Now, but what the problem is that when you introduce 25 new characters next season, again, in a season in general, you're just taking away time from our main characters. And I just feel like they could have used that time to really build upon what they already had with some of these characters. And I felt robbed, having all these characters just get introduced and then be killed off in the 4th season. I mean, the only one that made it out of there that was introduced was Bob. I mean, I'm not really counting Gareth and them. I mean, that's a next season thing. But what character did they introduce in the 4th season other than Tara? I guess Tara too. Okay, Tara and Bob that made it out. None. They all died. So it's like, what was the point of introducing all those characters when you're just going to kill them off in the next episode or, a couple episodes down the road, and not use them to their fullest extent? It just didn't make sense. Other than Lizzie and Mika, I thought they were essential and I really liked what they did. Again, they introduced some good characters this season and I liked that. And I liked how they went about their storylines. But again, I just don't think that we need to introduce 25 new characters next season with Terminus just to have 5 of them get their heads, beat in, like in that scene in the, the trailer, or, to have people just get killed off left and right. I think Father Gabriel is a good addition. I'm excited to see him, and hopefully we do get to see some more of Gareth and maybe another one of his people who may be a leader, and maybe more of these people at the hospital. But again, I don't think they need to introduce a lot of new characters. So I really hope that they go a little less with that, so we have more time to focus on the characters that we have. And then if you need to kill some of them off to make room for new ones, that's fine. Do it that way, though. And number 1 is going to be putting Rick back at the center of the show. I do like what they did with Rick's character in the 4th season, okay? You have to keep these characters interesting. You need to keep these characters' storylines new, thrilling, exciting, and unique. Several characters I feel have been killed off at the right time. Hershel, I felt, was killed off at the right time because really it served better for the story, and I think they've done what they could with Hershel. There really was no more room to go with him as much as I loved him as a character. Same thing with the governor. I didn't want to see another cycle of the governor. I felt like it was the right time to take care of him. Shane, I felt like keeping him alive after all the things he did would have just been like, not believable. Like, how can you keep a guy like that in your group after he did all those things? I feel like they really did a great job writing that down, planning that out right. And the same thing with Rick. I felt like it was essential for Rick to take a step back and us see a new side of him. A little bit of a lighter side, and somebody who was really struggling within himself to try to, figure out who he is, and try to cope with everything that he's done. Because now that I think he's come to an understanding of why he does what he does, I think that we can see a stronger leader in Rick next season. Because he's not burdened anymore by what happened with Rick and Lori, Shane love triangle. He's not burdened by that. He doesn't have Lori as a burden on him. And not that Lori was a burden. I'm just saying, like, him having, like, those conflicted feelings. He's not having any more delusions yet. I think that he's a much stronger leader than what he was before. And bringing him back to the center is going to keep it more interesting. It's going to see more action. It's going to see more intensity. And it's going to be great for the character and I think great for the show. So I really think they need to do that next season. But that's it for this video. I want to thank everybody again for watching. Again, if you want to see more, please subscribe. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed and everybody that has watched so far. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this. I really do love The Walking Dead. It's a passion of mine, and I love throwing out all these discussions for everybody to view and get you ready for the 5th season. It's a great show. Hey, I'm one of them people that hopes that it lasts for 15 years. Believe me, I love this show, and I think that it has great potential, and I think it will continue to make us exciting. I think it will make audience members just as excited to watch it each season. Can't talk. And I think that it will continue to grow as the further seasons come on. So I want to thank everybody again, and I really hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.